join right here to form the optic chiasma. Okay, so I'm going to take this off and let's put these muscles back. These muscles actually, look like they're with other. I don't think I'm going to mess with these. I'm just going to put them aside. But this one, okay, would be a muscle here, then there'd be a muscle there. But I'm just going to set them aside. So anyway, there's 6 skeletal muscles that you can control via the primary motor cortex to contract to move the eyeball up, down, right, left, and then rotate it. So 4 of them are rectus muscles, and they insert directly into the sclera. And the oblique muscles come in from the side. So superior rectus, inferior rectus, lateral rectus, and the medial rectus. And then the obliques come in from the side. So the oblique that's pretty easy to point to and see would be the superior oblique. So it's coming across here. There's actually a little loop of connective tissue, and its tendon goes through the loop and then attaches like this across the sclera. So when it contracts, it rotates the eyeball like that. Okay, then this one, because it's really small and it's kind of tough to see, so you got to kind of look in there, but that would be the inferior oblique. And when it contracts, it rotates this way. Well, I want you to get it on your own. Okay, so what I want to do here is take a look at the structures of the eye itself. And the sclera and the cornea form the outermost layer or tunic called the fibrous tunic. And the fluid-filled space behind the cornea, but in front of the lens, which would be on the other side of the pupil, would be the anterior segment that's filled with aqueous humor made by capillaries in the ciliary processes of the ciliary bodies. I'm going to show you all that in just a second. But anyway, this would be the iris, and the hole in the iris that looks black when you look at a person's eye would be the pupil. So these are parts of the middle tunic, or the uvea, that you can see. Because the outer tunic is the sclera and the cornea, and they're just continuous. But the middle tunic that you can see here, because I'm going to have to take this off, would be the pigmented iris that gives color to a person's eye, and the hole in the middle of the iris, and it honestly isn't, it's just a hole, that would be the pupil. All right, let's take this off. All right, now we're seeing the middle part of the eye. So this brown, highly vascularized part of the middle tunic, which is the uvea, UVEA, is the choroid. And the choroid then leads to the white-colored ciliary body. And off the ciliary body would be the iris, and the hole in the iris is the pupil. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, of course you can still see the optic nerve coming out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. Okay, so now when I take this off, we can look at what lines it, and that's the orange-colored retina. And the orange-colored retina doesn't go all the way around behind the lens. Instead, it comes right here at that scallop border, which is called the oro serrata, and that's where the retina meets the ciliary body. So the ciliary body is white in color here, but it's reddish on this side. And these silver streaks that you see right there in the ciliary body are the ciliary processes of the ciliary body that contain capillaries that secrete the aqueous humor into the anterior segment. Okay, so the orange would be the retina, and the retina meets the ciliary body at a scallop border called the oro serrata. And within the ciliary body, or the silver streaks, they would be the ciliary processes of the ciliary body. The retina is the inner layer, and the inner layer is called the retina. And the retina is made up of 3 layers of cells, and the lowermost layer will be the photoreceptor cells, the rods and the cones. Named rods and cones because of the way they're shaped. Okay, let's get back to the middle tunic. Of course, this is going to be the choroid that leads to the ciliary body, white on this side, red on this side. And then off the ciliary body would be the iris. The hole in the iris is called the pupil. So, right behind the pupil is where we pick up the lens. And the lens is part of the middle tunic or the uvea. So light comes through the cornea, through the pupil, through the lens, and then it passes through a thick solution behind the lens called the posterior segment. And this thick solution behind the lens in the posterior segment is the vitreous humor. So honestly, this would be, like the egg white stuff, before you cook it, it's kind of slimy and thick, almost like oil. It's kind of, that's what you mean by thick solution. So you couldn't pick it up in your hands like this. This is just, it's a model, and this is how they simulate it. So I'm going to take this solution, okay, and put it over there. All right, now we're looking at the retina of the eye. And when you look at the retina of the eye, and you can kind of see it here. See, light's going to come in through the cornea, through the pupil, and then it comes straight back, and the light's coming in, it's going to strike right there. Okay? And that's right beside the optic disc that becomes the optic nerve. And so if I come straight in like that, this part right there on the retina is where I form the sharpest part of my image. So Kristen's face is coming straight in, okay? And this area is where the macula lutea is found. And the center of the macula lutea is the fovea centralis. I don't think I'm going to ask fovea centralis, because it would be like a little dot in the middle of the macula lutea. But the macula lutea, almost in every model I've ever seen, is like some kind of like colored circle or dot, and you can see it on this model. And you can see it's directly in. So this would be the macula lutea, and the optic nerve is kind of out to the side a little bit. Okay? I think that's it.